Well, hey there! Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of hopefully what will be more than just one episode of this new series, which I'm kind of still in the process of naming here. It's right now though I'm gonna go with winning through losing, and what this is this is just an analysis video of a game that I lost, and in the future I might do analysis videos of games other people have lost, and they want to know what they can do to improve, and that's what this is all about today. This is all about learning, using hindsight, which as we all know is 2020. So let's see if we can look at these replays and see what we can take from this, and see what we can learn to improve ourselves. Now if we look at the teams, the enemy team does have Blitzcrank, Cassiopeia, Olaf, Vayne, and Shyvana. Now Blitzcrank's actually going to be making an appearance soon. Spoiler alert. By the way, this is Azel talking right now, the Azel in Azel TV. There's the team. And I flashed there. I questioned that flash because they did actually want Skarner dead, but I didn't know that, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get out of here, not a problem. I don't really want to die. I don't want to be that first blood, you know. So with this video, this isn't really a cast or anything. This, like I said, it's just going to be analysis. Now they are leaving. So I'm really just going to focus on me and my lane. So I'm just going to focus on Ashe and myself versus Vayne and Blitzcrank. And as you can see, maybe in the chat if you can, I'm telling the team, hey, go to your lanes. I got the leash, not a problem. I'm just going to be a boss, Janna. And this is something that the support can do because your experience really doesn't matter as much. I mean, obviously it does matter, but it's better to give Ashe that early level 2 than have us both hit level 2 a little later than that. So now I kind of finally move on to the lane here. And we're going to fast forward just a little bit here. Not much going on, just a little harass. And one thing I would like to mention right now, Blitzcrank actually did go top lane. He's starting to roam. So at this point, we should have realized this, which we did. Well, I did at least. I can't speak for this Ashe. So I should have done a little better job at trying to zone this Ashe, and maybe we should have been a little more aggressive. Maybe a little communication there. You know, got in the chat like, hey Ashe, let's try to kill this bitch. But I can't, I did not do that. Since Blitzcrank actually is, as you can see on the mini-map, trying to cause a ruckus in mid lane, and we're still not really being that aggressive bottom lane when we really could have. So this is a big mistake, I think, because we really could have tried to take advantage of that bottom lane. I'm not even going to bother looking at that because LOL Replay does not care about their health bars. So I'm really doing my best to zone Vayne here, and Ashe should focus on the last hits if she's not going to be aggressive. She's actually going to miss one of those. Kind of silly. And that's really, I think, the big issue at this early game, because Blitzcrank is still not bottom lane, and we did not take advantage of this. Things we could have done, well, obviously, try to be more aggressive, and now at this point, Ashe let the lane push for some reason, and now Vayne's going to get some easy minion kills. And trying to harass with the volley there, but that's not going to help. I actually did go to ward, since I knew Blitzcrank was coming soon. I did not put a ward there because I didn't realize that I should have, because that ward just went away. So now we don't have river vision. But I think I do go back and put that there in a second. But I prefer to ward one in Tribush when I'm supporting, and one at right about there in Dragon. That way we see the entrance to blue buff, and they can't go through river without us seeing. Which, by the way, I don't know if you caught on, I am the Janna in this game. Look, some stuff happened top lane, but we don't really care about that. We're trying to focus on how we could get better, not how Lee Sin kills Olaf. I know there's just a little farming going on. Blitzcrank doing his thing, and I am just hanging out. Now Blitzcrank actually does go toward the Tribush. I mean, you want to take a mental note of that. If you obviously see them ward, make a note of it. Say, okay, that happened at about 5 minutes or so. So that means at about 9 minutes or so, that Tribush is not going to be warded anymore. Now we know the enemy team's going back, so we're just kind of hanging out. Last hitting off turret. I don't think Ashe was actually doing spectacular in CS at this point, 24 to 25. When she really should have been up on Vayne, considering the beginning, where we actually had a fairly decent amount of time where it was just 2v1, and we did not take advantage of that. Alright, so now they're coming back in full force. Vayne has the item advantage on Ashe, so we really needed to be careful here. We're about to watch something happen. You got when you're Ashe, yeah, that was pretty obvious grab there. That's gonna go in. Not much I can do there to help out. Ashe is gonna have to flash out. Not a problem. And now she's actually going crazy. Going in. I'm hanging back because I know Shyvana is still there. Obviously, we know she's still there. She took out the oracles, and luckily that last-minute vision actually did tell us that she's still coming bottom. And she's actually going to make an appearance in these bushes. Problem is, right after you get ganked, more than likely the jungler is still going to be there. So you got to be careful. And this is kind of what's happening here. We know Shyvana's there. She just killed the ward, and she's going to try to back out for a little bit. And we're going to try to go back. About that gank attempt, though, that's why Janna is so spectacular. I think I did a really good job. I did the only thing I could do, which is land the tornado, luckily on all of them. And that was actually a good thing I did there. That kind of helped Ashe not die. And here we are going back. Now, Janna Ashe versus Vayne Blitz. Obviously, Blitzcrank lanes are going to be kill lanes. You don't have a sustain lane with Blitzcrank. So you have to be careful. You can't just... Yeah, I mean... This is the opposite of being careful. Now, I make one big mistake in my opinion. I don't actually know how much it would have helped at this point, since I tried to use the exhaust for the same purpose and then just get a slow on both of them. But Ashe actually did get picked off there, and after this, when I was actually watching this at first, to go back to that, I wondered if I had Zephyred Vayne, would she might have lived. My answer is going to be no. I want to say no, so that I feel better about myself. I don't actually think that would have been the case, because I did actually exhaust the Vayne, get the slow on her, but in the end, Ashe just got really caught out in a bad position, and that was really bad positioning on her part. So now actually nothing of note actually happens for a while, so we're going to kind of fast forward. Yeah, we almost had something going there, but we didn't. This Ashe was actually playing extremely passive.
Has been slain.
And something's happening top lane, but like I said, we don't care about that. Nope. So we're kind of paying a visit, and right now their bottom lane is beating us, and that's kind of bad news. We actually did need some Skarner presence or something to help us out. We need a good play. There were a lot of little mistakes that really happened in terms of positioning throughout this game from Ashe. Not to be like, oh, the reason we lost this game was Ashe. No, because this is a team game. Everyone plays a part in it. So we're looking at this to see what I could have done better and what we can all take from this and maybe improve. Because, as we all know, in games like this, losing actually helps you get better. But you have to actually, you know, look into it and see what happens. So now, there's a lot of action going on mid lane. There's 3 mid, and Ryze actually does a really good job of dodging that Blitzcrank grab, and here comes the Ashe arrow, which is a fantastic arrow. Absolutely great job from Ashe. The dodge balls are coming out from Ryze, and he's going to pick up that kill. But I actually start getting attacked by Vayne. I kind of get caught out of position here. I mean, I'm going to be able to get away because of the tornado. And then Ryze is going to come make a visit, but Vayne's actually really, really full health, doing a lot of damage. And Ashe finds herself once again in a really bad position. She was in melee range despite being Ashe. Now, I actually did get the Zephyr off on Vayne, got the exhaust, and that's bad news. And this whole extra thing with the Ashe dying from right about that point where she goes in and past, yeah, Ryze is going to die too. I'm even going to say this in chat in like a couple seconds, but that could have been avoided. There was no need to chase that at all. I mean, there was no winning that pursuit. So that was a really bad call. I tried to get back. I don't even have my ultimate yet at this point. I really couldn't do anything to help disengage. But them chasing actually did start making us making the other team actually snowball. So now, something really important is going to happen bottom lane. Hopefully I'm not going to miss it. Right now, Ashe is by herself bottom lane. She needs to be careful. And like I said, in this analysis, I'm focusing on my lane, so Ashe actually counts in this analysis, so... Sorry, who boy, but you are being criticized. Or analyzed, whatever. So, we can see Blitzcrank's actually being really aggressive. Ashe is by herself. There's actually no reason for this engage to ever happen. So that was actually just a pointless death. I mean, yeah, Ashe was on turret, but if Blitzcrank's getting right up in your face, right around here, right where my little cursor is, if he's getting right up in your face, you back out. Like, you don't need to do that. It is better that you die and let the turret fall. And whatever, and yeah, Ashe was like, why didn't you ult? And I'm like, I just hit level 6. And it's true. Now Ashe actually does res and gonna kind of make a big mistake coming up here. Lots of pings going off mid. They're actually doing something exciting, but right now we're kind of seeing what's going on. And Vayne's actually gonna go back, but Blitzcrank is gonna have to stay. We could finish him off, but Ashe actually backs out. The reason we could have actually safely gone after that, especially since he's grabbing me and being kind of a dick, is because we knew Shyvana was mid from that exchange. We knew top lane was there, and we knew Vayne just went back. So it was Blitzcrank all alone with no one to help him. And we have a slow with Ashe's arrows and a lot of CC from Janna. We could have actually went in on that, tried to do something about it, and instead we actually let a free kill walk by. Whoa, slow motion. Now back to the farming. Ryze is actually doing more things mid. Not a problem. Going back to ward. Now I'm actually going to get caught out here. Making a big mistake. Was not able to juke that. And the Ashe arrow is going to help me escape. Although I think I actually would have been okay with just my ultimate to disengage. I was far enough away from the wall for Vayne to not be able to stun me. But if I had been, I would say even an inch closer, I might have been in a little bit of trouble. But luckily Ashe actually did use that defensive arrow. I will never complain about using ultimates in that fashion to help me stay alive. But so good job for Ashe, but I really think I would have been okay. It was really, not to say that I made the good play there, I was actually really in bad positioning. And that's something I could also work on as well. I actually did write that down. Positioning, very key. Very key in a Blitzcrank matchup. Obviously, you don't want to get grabbed, because getting grabbed will most certainly lead to your death. Now, Skarner's actually kind of in a weird spot right now. Bottom's going to... And he doesn't even see the blitz grab coming. He's going to get condemned to the wall. But he's going to be able to escape because he flashes out. And now they're going to go back to trying to get our blue buff. Now Ashe actually is doing some good damage. I'm going to get the Zephyr off on Blitzcrank. Add on to the slow from Ashe. And they did finish off blue. Now right now, we don't need to do anything here. We're not in a good spot. I mean, yeah, Ryze is chunky Cassiopeia, but he's got to keep in mind about that ultimate. And because he didn't think about that, he actually did fall. And now Blitzcrank is going to get a grab off on Skarner again. Now what can we do in this case right now? What can we do? Well, answer, we can Ashe arrow. Oh. No, but what can I do to help save in this situation? Hopefully this pause thing works and it's not going to jump all over the place, but hopefully hopefully it works. Alright, so the Blitz ultimate is going to come off. Kind of do some big damage. I mean, kind of think about it here. A lot of them are low. Could we actually do something in this situation in order to win this fight? Now, Ashe actually made a very questionable flash there, in my opinion. You really didn't need to do that, especially if you're just going to walk right into a Blitzcrank grab. Now, they're all extremely low at this point. Now we're kind of thinking in our heads right now, can we win an engagement here? Well, if we look at our mini-maps and see that, oh, we have Resin coming from top lane, we actually can, if we go in. Problem is, since this was solo queue and ranked, it's kind of hard to type mid-fight, hey, let's all go in because Lee Sin's coming. So I do the support thing, follow Ashe around, and Lee Sin actually does pick up the kill. Which could have been more kills because they had no idea Lee Sin was coming. So there's the kind of teamwork that solo queue kind of lacks without that voice communication. If this were like an arranged game, that would have been a lot smoother. I think they're actually going to pick up mid here. Now Olaf actually is going to ultimate in, try to take down Rise. He gets the ignite off. I'm going to give him a shield and then land this tornado, which actually does have them disengage. The snare's going to come off. Now Olaf uses ultimate so we can crowd control him. I think Cassiopeia really only hit me with that ultimate, which actually worked out in our favor. Now I'm going to help disengage with my ultimate, and I'm going to live. Vayne misses the condemn into the wall, and that's huge. That's huge. I helped position myself. I knew she was going to go for that, so I made sure to keep that in mind when I was going for it. And Ashe is going to finish off the Blitzcrank and then die herself. Now I know she was standing in miasma, and that was kind of one thing I was really concerned about with her. When you're AD, you attack and move. Actually, when you're anyone and you're fighting an AP like Cassiopeia, you gotta juke. You can't stand there and auto attack when you could actually dodge. So just keep in mind, always remember, when you're attacking someone like Cassiopeia or anyone with skill shots, or really anyone in general, attack and move. Attack, move, attack, move. Very good skill to get down. It will save your life. And it will actually make you look really pro too. So that's also a plus. Get all the ladies, that kind of thing. We're going to fast forward a bit because actually I don't think anything happens for the next 2 minutes. Oh, we found a robot in that bush. Oh, got him. Wacky. Ping's going off. You know, Lee Sin actually doing his best to kind of keep us in the game, killing the Renekton district. And here they come. Field goal. Hey-oh. And now Ashe is going to kind of turn around, try to get some attacks in, but the Vamp Scepter gonna make the damage kind of negatable. Now Olaf wants to gank bottom lane. We see him because of my very awesome bush ward there, and no communication from Blitzcrank to let him know that that is warded. Skarner's actually interested. He actually wants to get a piece here. So we know Blitzcrank, we know Olaf's there. So if we get grabbed at this point, I mean, we're just asking to get ganked. So we need to play safe. We're not in a position right now. Maybe with Rise there, maybe, but just the 3v3, we'll lose this engage unless we get it off. But if Blitzcrank gets the grab off in that 3v3, we will lose. And that gank kind of just wasted time. So now I'm going to kind of make a weird decision here. I'm going to try to... We have no vision of anyone on their team. And I go to ward Tribush. Now I'm going to get away. Not a problem. You know, they're a little aggression tactics. She did get me low, but Janna is actually pretty good at kiting and getting out of sticky situations like that. But really, that was really bad on my part. I really need to watch the map and realize that. That's another thing that we can all really try to focus on a little bit better, and you can probably admit to yourself. Watch the mini-map a lot, and use that to make good decisions. And that's actually going to be a really good team fight for us, where we actually get a good Skarner ultimate off, and Blitzcrank misses the grab. But now here comes Vayne. I get the exhaust off. It almost saves Skarner's life. Actually, I think it... No... I think if he kept running, he would have been a little fine. I don't really know what he was doing. He kind of stood in the bush and tried to be sneaky. Rise does finish off the Blitzcrank, and Shyvana's going to find herself not pleased with her positioning. Positioning, and Lee Sin actually tries... I wasn't really sure what he was thinking here, but the moral of the story is he's not in my lane, so we're not really going to assess what happened there, but really it was kind of dumb. He tried to go 2v1. So now, something very interesting happens, and I know everyone has done this in their entire life, so I just want to go ahead and point this out now, so you don't do it. In a second, we're going to follow Ashe. So they're doing Dragon. Ashe is there. Ashe sees Cassiopeia and Olaf. We have awards, so we know they're there. Vayne is there as well. Ashe is going to go in and try to volley Olaf for harass. And this is going to lead to the death of Ashe there. Giving Vayne godlike. When that happens, or in that situation, even if we would have had a chance to contest Dragon, it's just not worth it at this point. Because our options there were lose Dragon, or get killed, then lose Dragon. So Ashe actually gave them not just Dragon, but a free kill as well. And that was kind of really bad positioning. So in a situation like that, don't value Dragon that much. I mean, Dragon is actually really good, so don't think that it's not. But in the end, think about it. Are you actually going to do something, or are you just going to die? So we're going to fast forward here. Now, one thing that I noticed while going through this game, Ashe never really did an offensive arrow. That gank mid was actually a pretty good arrow, but other than that, it was really safe for defensive purposes, which is kind of a waste of one of the best initiating ultimates in the game. Now, one thing I think I did really well in this game was actually good usage of shields, of the Janna shield. You gotta treat the Janna shield kind of like, for the most part, kind of like Soraka's heal. You want to use it in a good situation. Now, obviously on someone who's going to benefit most from it, say Ashe or something. But if you're going to have to use it defensively to keep people alive, you want to hold on to it and use it at the right moment. So now more excitement's actually going to be going down in terms of not being exciting and just farming. So here we are. I'm gonna try to get rid of that ward. Vayne actually is gonna try to come in and catch me, but I'm gonna be fine. Really, I'm gonna be fine. In that situation, the condemn wasn't gonna be enough to kill me, and now Ashe is gonna find herself in a really bad spot. Now, yes, I will admit that was very bad positioning on my part, but in that situation, you let me die. If you're the AD, and I will admit that's something I need to work on. I've already emphasized this many times. Positioning, that was really bad for me in this game. Sometimes I have good positioning games, sometimes I have bad. It needs to be a little more consistent. Making some weird decisions, but that didn't have to be a death on Ashe, because like I said, I think I would have gotten away, would have had no problem, and in the end, it would have been better for me to die than for her to die. So if you're ever in a situation like that where you're in Ashe's shoes, kind of have that quick thinking and be like, is it going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth it? At this point, we're going to just fast forward through a lot of this stuff, and we're going to pick off Shyvana. But I kind of want to go over, there's really not much else to learn about this game. We really just kind of slope downhill. We kind of get picked off a lot. It's really not good. So I kind of wanted to touch on the keys to success that actually could have changed this game for us. Since that's the whole point about this series, about winning through losing. And I'm hoping that everyone will understand and learn. Keys to success: positioning, positioning, positioning. Positioning is especially important against Blitzcrank. So we made a lot of goofy mistakes, Ashe and I, both equally. We both made a lot of goofy mistakes that could have been fixed if we had better positioning. And second thing, awareness. They kind of go hand in hand with positioning and awareness. So when you're playing your games, kind of think about that. Kind of think, is it going to be a good idea for me to go through here? Look at the minimap. The minimap is there for a reason. It's like free map hacks. Another key to success that may have actually helped us out in this game a little better, earlier harass. When Vayne was 1v1 and 1v2 early on when Blitzcrank was doing the roaming, we could have been a lot more aggressive on her and actually kind of ruined her. Because Vayne actually has really bad early games. We could have taken advantage of that, but we didn't because of lack of organization, which is something that we're gonna... as I said earlier, could have been fixed in a more arranged setting, but we're just gonna go ahead and keep it in this keys to success. Another thing, understanding the matchups. This is more so for the Ashe in this case. I mean, if you're gonna land against Blitzcrank, you gotta be careful. You gotta stand behind minions. The normal safe spots aren't really gonna be so safe anymore. You always have to be on your toes, except for the 15 or so seconds when Grab is down. That kind of thing. And we're kind of just, yeah, like I said, we're just gonna finish it off at this point. So know the matchups. Also with Vayne. Vayne needs to be near walls for her to get a stun off with Condemn. So, what can we do? Not stand near walls. Kind of have that good positioning. Keep that in mind no matter what. And just get the angle. I mean, I think I did that really well that one time when Vayne tried to kill me and she ended up condemning me away from her because I angled myself properly and had that at the right angle so that I didn't get condemned into the wall. I thought that was actually really well done by myself. A good point. And finally, my last key to success or whatever thing that could have helped us win this game was definitely not chasing. And I think this a lot. If you actually do play with me or anything like that, or watch my stream, you'll know I hate when people chase and I hate when people die because it usually never ends well. I mean, while you're chasing, you could be taking objectives or anything like that, but really you're just leading to deaths, which don't need to be necessary. And we actually could have saved ourselves a lot of unnecessary deaths if we had just stopped chasing. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to my first more analysis kind of video. If you have any feedback, let me know in the comments, or you can email me at azel.tv@gmail.com. The information is also in my YouTube channel. Make sure you can, if you like the video, subscribe. Also, I am looking for videos to do this with. If you have a loss that you would like analyzed and you just kind of want me to go over it, I'll go ahead and gladly do an episode in the future with it. I think that would be great if people sent in some replays. You can email them to the email I previously stated, or you can find that email once again in my YouTube information. Make sure to subscribe if you like the video, and you can also follow me on Twitter at AzelTV, as well as I stream these and stream solo queue, and I do a lot of commentating. You can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/AzelTV. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you like the video. Thanks.